sun is shining, the sky a deep blue, there's a magnificent breeze, and I am longing, so longing, for everything. I walk from room to room, feel the breeze in the crack in the window frame, feel my heart beating as if to say, can't you fulfill this longing at last? I long for every boy, and to Peter, I want to shout, say something, don't just smile all the time. Touch me so I can get that delicious feeling inside. I feel spring within me. I feel spring awakening. I feel it in my entire body and soul. I'm utterly confused. I don't know what to read, to write, to do. I only know I'm longing. March 29th, 1944. We've had to cut down even further on food. The rats have gobbled up some of our precious supplies. They must be desperate too. Our mouths are watering for anything edible. All we've had to eat this week is pickled kale and rotten potatoes. You wouldn't believe how much kale can stink when it's a few years old.
What is it tonight?
Don't ask.
I have to be prepared.
On top of it all, every meal there's been a political discussion ending in some terrible fight. But last night, something even more terrible happened.
My God, I can't eat this again.
Something wrong, Mr. Dussel? Why don't you try cooking for a change instead of insulting my wife?
I think you prepared the kale very well, Mrs. Van Daan.
Mr. Frank, always the soul of politeness.
Every night, another miracle.
Careful, Mr. Dussel. We don't want to clog the pipes like last week.
Woody, please. What's wrong, Margot? I'm not eating. Eat. You have to eat. I'm not hungry.
If she doesn't want it, Peter will eat it.
Margot, just take a bite.
I can't. I just can't. She eats like a bird. Look at her. Every day a smaller bird. Margot, I'm doing the best I can.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Van Daan.
Anne's eating. Peter's eating.
How do you do it, Anne?
Pretend it's delicious. I don't look at it before I know it's gone.
Very wise, Anne. I ate because I'm hungry. Margot, you've got to force yourself. You're too thin.
She's not the only one. We're all famished.
Will this war ever be over?
It would be over a lot sooner if the goddamn British would finally start the invasion.
Please, not tonight.
The British are fighting for their lives.
I'll do something when the time is right.
When we're dead and buried, you mean? It's amazing how strong those Germans are.
Oh, it's amazing. Those Germans are so strong they're going to win the war? Is that what you mean?
They might. They very well might. If the British don't get moving.
They're moving, for crying out loud. Aren't 3,000 tons of bombs dropped on Hamburg last Sunday enough for you?
No.
Well, how many bombs do you need?
Enough so we don't have to worry about going to Poland.
Hurry up, Mr. Dussel.
Hurry up,
Mr. Dussel, the line is forming again!
You think I like spending my life in there? Mr. Pritt.
Sorry to come up at this hour, but something's happened, something serious.
What?
I must ask you all to be more careful, more quiet.
What's happened?
The man in the storeroom, Carl. A while ago he asked me, what do you hear from Mr. Frank? I said I'd heard a rumor that you were in Switzerland. He said he'd heard that too, but thought I might know something more. I paid him no attention, but today, signing some invoices he brought to the office, I looked up and saw him, staring at the bookcase.
My God.
He said he thought he'd remembered a door there, and he said he wanted more money. 10 more guilders a month.
Blackmail?
10 guilders. Very modest blackmail. It's just the beginning. What did you tell him?
I told him I had to think about it. Should I pay him the money? Take a chance on firing me?
For God's sakes, pay him the money. Offer him half. We'll find out if it's blackmail or not.
Look, maybe he knows nothing, but it's getting more dangerous every day out there. No one can be trusted. I I must ask them all to be more quiet. More quiet. I'll offer him half then.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
We'll hope for the best.
Thank you.
Mother, please don't be upset. I can't bear seeing you like this. Oh, you're radiant, He. Please go back to supper. I'd rather stay here with you.
And now a message from the Dutch Minister of Education.
History cannot be written on the basis of official documents alone. If our descendants are to understand what we as a nation have endured during these years, we need simple, everyday pieces. A diary, letters from a forced laborer in Germany.
Tonight, after such a horrible evening, something wonderful happened. Mr. Balkenstein, our cabinet minister, speaking on the Dutch broadcast from London, said that a collection of diaries and letters would be made after the war. Think of how interesting it would be if I were to publish a book called The Secret Annex, based on my diary. I'll have to start revising it tomorrow. Unless you write yourself, you can't know how wonderful it is. When I write, I shake off all my cares. But I want to achieve more than that. I want to be useful. I want to bring joy to those I've never met. I want to go on living even after my death.
Let me into my room this instant.
She's busy. She'll be out in a moment.
What could she possibly be missing?
She's just probably writing in her diary.
She writes in the diary at night.
Please, Mr. Dustin, I'll be out in a moment.
Mr. Dussel's getting awfully impatient out there.
Let him. I'm always waiting for him.
Are you going up to the attic with Peter again? You've already spent so much time there today.
I went up exactly twice. Once to practice French together and once to get the potatoes for supper.
Well, you know Mrs. Van Daan, she's got a comment for everything.
She can't help it. It's her nature. But I don't think it's Mrs. Van Daan that's upsetting you.
I'm not upset.
Are you, Margot? Jealous of Peter and me?
I'd be considerably jealous of you instead of me.
Yes, I imagine you would be. But I'm not.
Are you? Tell me the truth.
Well, who wouldn't want someone to visit every night? Have deep, serious conversations with, and who knows what else? Yes, I'm jealous. But not of you and Peter. I'd just like someone of my own. I'm happy you have someone.
You mean it?
I mean it. I want you to have a good time tonight. Every night. You've already missed out on so much being here.
Oh, Margot, you're such a generous person. Anyway, maybe there's nothing to be jealous of. We don't do anything. I mean, kiss.
The kiss will come.
I'm not sure I want it to.
Oh, yes, you do. I know you. You can't help yourself. It's in your nature. Wait. Let me fix your hair. There. Now you're ready.
I presume I may finally be getting back into my room.
Our room, Mr. Dussel. And yes, you may return.
Thank you so much.
And again,
Again. And look at her.
it's cold in the attic. You better bundle up.
In my day, it was the boys who called on the girls.
Young people like to feel they have secrets. The attic's the only place where they can talk.
Talk? That's not what they called it in my day.
I think true love may be developing in our little annex.
If we're here much longer, we might even have a little annex wedding.
Frankly, I can't stand this stupid chatter another minute. And don't forget to be down by 9. They're so old-fashioned. I guess they don't realize how much more advanced we are.
You look nice.
Really?
I like the shoes. I've always liked the shoes.
Meek always does everything just right.
She likes you a lot.
And I love her, but I hate having to ask her for absolutely everything. Doesn't it make you miserable, being so dependent on other people?
I'm not miserable. Anymore. I mean, just don't meet you on the stairs sometimes.
I feel the same way.
You know, you've changed. I used to think you were a real pain in the neck.
My life before seemed so unreal. I see myself as an utterly superficial girl who has nothing to do with who I am now. I wouldn't have left being her for the world.
You sure know a lot about yourself, don't you? I guess it comes from all that writing you do.
I want to be a real writer someday. I know I can write. I'm a harshest critic, but who knows if I truly have talent or not. What do you want to do?
I don't know. Some kind of job that doesn't take much brains. Maybe if I had your drive.
That's ridiculous.
No, it's true. I'm a complete idiot.
You're too hard on yourself.
I didn't have much going for me on the outside.
Maybe if you'd gone to my school. Oh, Peter, I miss so many things, don't you? Sometimes I dream I'm in a little apartment. I wake up and I don't know where I am. I wonder why I can't just run outside. Oh, you can see the moon from here. Just like you said. How beautiful. Moonlight coming in our attic.
Are you cold?
No, well, maybe just a little.
Here.
Peter, have you ever kissed a girl?
I guess so.
You have? When?
It's not a big deal or anything.
Tell me.
It was for my birthday. I was blindfolded. I don't even know who the girl was.
Wrong with being kissed or anything. I'm sure Margaret would never kiss a boy unless she was engaged. And I know Mother never touched a man before she met him. All my girlfriends would say, "Oh, Anne, how terribly shocking." Who cares what they'd say? It's all different now. Here.
You called it our attic before. Did you mean that?
Yes.
You won't let them stop you from coming up here, will you?
No, I promise. Maybe I'll bring one of my stories up sometime. And read it to you.
You'll come tomorrow night?
If you want me to.
I do.
It's 9:05.
I will then.
All Jews must be out of the German-occupied countries before July 1st. The province of Utrecht will be cleansed of the Jews between April 1st and May 1st, and then the provinces of North and South Holland immediately thereafter.
Edith, please. Go back to sleep.
nothing.
It wasn't a rat. It was him.
Never before. Never before.
I don't believe you. If he steals once, he'll steal again. Every day, I watch the children getting thinner, and he comes in the middle of the night and steals the food that should go to them.
Oh my God.
Edith, please.
Mama, it was just one piece of bread.
Here.
He couldn't help himself. It could have happened to any one of us.
I want him to go.
Go? Go where?
Anywhere.
You don't mean what you're saying.
I understand you, Mrs. Frank, but...
They had to. I can't take it with him here.
Edith, you know how much pressure you've been
That has nothing to do with it.
We're all living under terrible strain. It won't happen again.
Never, I promise.
I want them to leave.
You put us out on the street?
There are other hiding places. Maybe we'll find something. Don't worry about the money. I'll get you the money.
Mr. Frank, you told my husband you'd never forget what he did for you when you first came to Amsterdam.
If my husband had any obligations, he was paid for.
Edith, I've never seen you like this. For God's sake.
Mother, please, you can't throw Peter out. He hasn't done anything.
Peter can stay.
I wouldn't feel right without Father.
Mother, please. They'll all be killed on the street.
Anne's right. You can't send him out on the street.
We can stay till we find some place. But we're switching rooms. I don't want him near the food.
Let's divide it up right now.
We are not going to divide up some runny potatoes.
Mrs. Frank.
Mr. Dussel.
Mr. Frank. Mrs. Von Damme.
Mr. Dussel, please.
Mr. Von Damme.
Don't.
Margot.
No more, Mr. Dussel.
Peter.
I beg you.
Myself.
I can't bear it. Stop! All this
Mrs. Frank.
happening.
Enough! Margot, Mr. Dussel, everyone, back to your rooms.
Margot.
Mr. Dussel, I think the potatoes can wait. Come, Edith.
Peter. Myself.
Just let them wait.
People of Western Europe, a landing was made this morning on the coast of France by troops of the Allied Expeditionary Force. This landing is part of the concerted United Nations plan for the liberation of Europe, made in conjunction with our great Russian allies. I have this message for all of you. Although the initial assault may not have been made,
Margot, can you believe it? The invasion. Home. This means we might be going home.
I don't even know what home would be like anymore. I can't imagine it.
I can imagine everything. Just to be outside, the sky. Oh, Margot, just to walk along the canal.
I'm afraid to let myself think about it. To have a real meal. It doesn't seem possible. Will anything ever taste the same? Look the same? I don't know if anything will ever feel normal again. How can we go back, really? You know what I've decided? I want to be a nurse for newborns and go far, far away.
How far?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe to Palestine. Maybe you'll go back to school in October, September even. Wouldn't that be something, Anarchy?
Woody, you know what I was just thinking? You won't believe it, but I was thinking about that first day we met, when you were buzzing around with the rest of the boys in Bremerhaven. I picked you out right away, you know. You were the one that made me laugh and laugh. That afternoon you took me out on the ferry, and you made me laugh even more. And then you started to kiss me. And the kisses were even better than the laughter, remember? You gave me so many. And the ferryman kept watching. And the ferry went off course. And then you made me laugh even more. And then when we got back, you had such a ravenous appetite. You made that little restaurant open its doors and you ordered almost everything on the menu. What an appetite, the waiter kept saying. That man really can eat. We'll go back on that ferry to be someday. I promise. It won't be long now. And soon I'll be making all your old favorites again. Sauerbraten with red cabbage. Potato pancakes with your cherished applesauce. We'll even go to Burkhoff's for cream cakes. But in the meantime, please, if you're hungry, just hold on to me. Please just hold on to me.
Just as I was falling asleep, my friend Hanali suddenly appeared before me, dressed in rags, face thin and worn. She looked at me with sadness in her enormous eyes. Then I could read the message in it. Help me. Help me. Why have you deserted me? Rescue me from this hell. Only I could. Why have I been chosen to live? She to die. Hanali, oh Hanali, if only I could take you away. Share everything I have with you. I hope when the war ends, if you live, I'll be able to take you in.
Are you still alive? I keep seeing your enormous eyes. I keep seeing myself in your place. You're a reminder of what my fate might have been. What will we do if we ever... No, I mustn't write that down. But the question won't let it be pushed to the back of my mind. All the fear I felt is looming before me in total, absolute horror.